It was just getting dark at Hollow Park. Every October, it turned into something else. A place called Fright Night. Orange lights flickered at the gates, while a calm voice drifted from the speakers. Fright Night begins at 6 p.m. Please follow all safety rules. Mason squeezed my hand, eyes glowing with excitement. 13 at last. Finally old enough for the night he'd been waiting for. My husband couldn't come. He's buried in work preparing for a big promotion. Mason loved monsters, blood, and anything that made me flinch. I hated theme parks and crowds, but he'd waited so long I couldn't say no. A worker handed me a paper with the rules. Don't approach the monsters first. Don't cross the performance lines. Don't go into areas where the lights are out. I read them twice. My palms were already damp. Mason darted ahead, hoodie bouncing, swallowed by fog that hissed from the ground. Then the siren wailed, and everything changed. Actors in torn uniforms stumbled through the red fog, the air thick with latex and the smell of popcorn. Screams rippled everywhere. And then, I had been holding his hand just a second ago. Now it was gone. Mason? I spun around, shouting, but the music swallowed my voice. A staff member in a reflective vest stopped me. Kids wander off all the time, she said with a shrug. He'll turn up after the parade. Minutes passed. My throat burned from yelling his name while the fog swallowed the lights. That's when I saw her. A girl about Mason's age. A fairy dressed entirely in black. Black wings. Black glitter. A silver star beneath one eye. She stood too still. Her eyes didn't blink. You're looking for someone, she whispered. Yes, I gasped. My son, gray hoodie, orange ribbon. Have you seen him? You broke the rules, she said quietly. But you can still make it right, if you trade. Trade? Give me what's most precious to you. I froze. Most precious? Mason was what's most precious. What do you mean? She smiled, faintly. Then she lifted a hand and pointed, slowly, precisely, at me, right around the middle of me, between my heart and my gut. Give me that. I stepped back, heart pounding. The park rules flashed through my mind. Don't talk to the monsters first. Don't cross the lines. Don't go where it's dark. I'd already broken them all. Listen, I said quickly. Just tell me where he is, then I'll give you anything but him. Her smile spread too far, the corners of her mouth trembling, like her face was struggling to hold it together. So you promise? Before I could answer, the siren screamed again. Lights flickered, and she was gone. Mom! I turned. Mason stood by the fog gate, trembling. I was scared, he whispered. The lights went out and I hid. I held him tight, shaking. The same staff member from earlier came running over. Oh, you found him, she said, relieved. I nodded quickly. Yeah, actually, a girl helped me. She was wearing a black fairy costume. Is she one of your staff? The woman frowned. No. We don't have anyone in a fairy costume tonight. On the drive home, Mason slept pale under the streetlights. At a red light, I saw black glitter on my sleeve, but the whisper stayed, soft and steady, like something breathing just out of sight. A month passed and the night at Hollow Park started to fade from my mind. Then one morning, my stomach turned. I'd been late before, my cycle's never been regular, so I didn't think much of it. But this time, something felt different. Just in case, I took a test. 2 pink lines. At the clinic, the doctor smiled at the screen. Congratulations, she said. You're 8 weeks along. 8 weeks. A month ago, that night at Hollow Park, I remembered how the black fairy had pointed at me, at my stomach, at what was already there. And I realized she hadn't asked for Mason at all. She'd asked for something else, something I hadn't even known existed yet, something that, like Mason, would soon become the most precious thing in my world. That evening I couldn't sleep. Mason sat by the window sketching in silence. "Mom," he murmured, "the fairy came back. She said she's waiting." "Waiting for what?" I asked. He didn't look up. "For what you promised." I pressed my hand against my stomach. A soft flutter answered, tiny fingers tapping from within. And for a second I thought I felt it smile. And in the back of my mind her voice came back. Soft, almost kind. "It's okay. You already promised."